My girlfriend said I cannot go backward with you. I need someone who can provide 3 days later. She left an envelope on my mirror and disappeared. What she did not know was that I let her think I was broke on purpose. I am a 33-year-old civil engineer. 5 years ago, I co-founded Havenworks with my best friend Logan. We build sustainable housing using recycled materials and green technology. For 3 years, we barely broke even. Then last year, things started changing. A German investment group reached out about acquisition talks. Everything was moving forward, but we were under strict NDA. I could not tell anyone, not even Vanessa. Vanessa and I had been together for 2 years. She is an interior designer with a growing Instagram following. When we met, she loved that I was building something meaningful, but over time, something shifted. She started spending more time with lifestyle influencers, people who measured success in luxury brands and vacation destinations. She began making comments about my car being too old, about how her friends were all upgrading their lives while we stayed stagnant. About 6 weeks ago, she started pushing harder about Aspen. She said once the Havenworks deal went through, we should get a cabin there because everyone in her circle was upgrading. I told her we were not at that stage yet. She looked at me like I had disappointed her. She said she needed to know if I could provide the lifestyle she deserved. Then the rumors started. Someone leaked false information that Havenworks had lost its investors. A tech gossip blog ran a headline saying our startup was crumbling. It was completely untrue. The acquisition was still moving forward, but the NDA meant I could not publicly correct anything. My PR advisor wanted to issue a statement. Logan was furious and wanted to fight back, but I made a decision that surprised everyone. I told them to let it breathe. I wanted to see who would still stand next to me when the lights went out. That night, Vanessa called. Her voice was different, careful. She asked if we were broke now. I told her we hit a rough patch. She asked how rough. I said sell the condo rough, even though we were renting. There was this long silence on the phone. Then she said she would call me tomorrow. She did not. For 3 days I heard nothing. I texted her twice. She responded with short messages. I am processing things. I need space. On the 4th day, I came home from a 16-hour session at the office. There was an envelope taped to my bathroom mirror. Inside was a note on her expensive stationery. It said she loved me, but she could not go backward. She said I needed time to rebuild and she needed stability, and that I should not take it personally. Half my closet was empty. She had taken her things while I was at work. She left her keys on the kitchen counter next to a bottle of champagne I had been saving for our anniversary. That bottle cost me $200. She did not even take it. Logan came over that night. He saw the champagne and said that was how you knew it was real. I tried to make a joke about maybe she did not like the label, but my voice cracked halfway through. Here is what I did not tell Vanessa. The acquisition was not dead. It was days away from closing. I had let her believe I was failing because I wanted to know what she would do. And now I knew. Part of me feels vindicated. Part of me feels completely gutted. Was I wrong to test her like that? I keep thinking about that champagne bottle. $200 seemed important 2 weeks ago. Now it just feels stupid. The worst part is, I still miss her. I miss the version of her that used to sit in our prototype houses and talk about building something that mattered. I do not miss the woman who left that note. Maybe they were never the same person. I do not even know what I am asking here. I guess I just needed to write it down somewhere before I lose my mind. Update 1: It has been 2 weeks since I posted. Thank you to everyone who shared their own stories. It helped more than you know. Some of you called me manipulative for testing Vanessa. Others said I dodged a bullet. A few said both things were true, and that is probably accurate. But things have gotten significantly more complicated, and I need to update you. Within a week of Vanessa leaving, her story started spreading. Not the real story. Her version, she told people I had lied about being successful, that I had misrepresented my company. Her influencer friends picked it up. Suddenly, there were vague posts about red flags and men who pretend to be more than they are. Nobody named me directly, but the timing was obvious. 2 of our potential clients asked Logan if Havenworks was actually legitimate. One of them pulled back from a contract that hurt. Vanessa was actively damaging something I had built over 5 years. Logan wanted me to say something publicly. He was furious. but I told him to wait. If Vanessa was this willing to throw me under the bus when she thought I had nothing, I wanted to see how far she would go. Then something unexpected happened. I got a DM on LinkedIn from someone named Derek. He introduced himself as Vanessa's ex-fiancé from about 4 years ago. I had heard her mention an ex briefly, saying it ended badly, and he had not been emotionally stable. Derek's message was respectful. He said he had seen the rumors circulating and wanted me to know that Vanessa had done something very similar to him. Derek sent screenshots. They were text conversations between Vanessa and a friend from 4 years ago, right after their engagement ended. Vanessa was talking about Derek. She said he was sweet, but potential did not pay bills. She talked about needing someone more established, someone who could provide the lifestyle she had worked hard to build. The texts were almost identical to things she had said to me. Derek explained that he had been a junior architect when they met. 6 months into their engagement, his firm downsized, and he lost his position temporarily. He had another job lined up, but there was a 2-month gap. Vanessa left during that gap. She told their mutual friends that Derek was emotionally unstable and not ready for marriage. The rumors followed him professionally for months. Then 8 months later, when he made partner at a prestigious firm, Vanessa called him crying. She said she had made a mistake and wanted another chance. Derek said no. He had spent those months rebuilding and finally understood that her love was conditional on his financial performance. I read those messages maybe 20 times. I called Logan and sent him everything. He went quiet, then said it was like reading a case study in emotional return on investment. She calculated whether people were worth her time based on their current market value. Around this same time, Logan's sister Riley showed up at our Havenworks office. Riley is a travel photographer who does work with environmental nonprofits. She was in Portland shooting a piece on sustainable housing. When she arrived, I was at my desk at midnight. I had been there since 6 in the morning. I had not eaten. Riley went out and came back with soup from the Vietnamese place down the street. She sat with me while I ate, helped me organize paperwork, and we talked. I told her everything. When I finished, she said sometimes the hardest thing about being proven right is realizing how long you were wrong. Before she left, Riley took a photo of one of our prototype eco-houses. It was unfinished, but you could see the solar arrays and rainwater collection system. She posted it on Instagram with a caption that said, "Real builders do not flex online. They build offline." The post went viral. Within 2 days, we had news outlets reaching out and 3 new clients contacting us directly. Havenworks became the humble heroes of green housing. Vanessa had no idea. She was still posting about letting go of toxic energies and choosing yourself first. The engagement was dropping. People were starting to question the vague posting. I want to be clear about something. I did not set out to destroy Vanessa. I just wanted to know the truth about who she was. And now I knew. She was someone who loved the idea of building something meaningful, right up until it required her to be uncomfortable. She was someone who would burn down your reputation to protect her own story. And she was someone who had done this before and would probably do it again. Update 2: the acquisition closed last Tuesday. Havenworks was purchased for $5.3 million. I am staying on as Chief Operating Officer with a significant salary increase and equity. Logan is Chief Technical Officer. When the deal finalized, Logan opened a beer and asked if I was going yacht shopping or joining a monastery. I told him neither. I said I was buying back silence. That night, I got a text from Vanessa. "Heard Havenworks survived. Congratulations. I always knew you would pull through. Maybe we could talk." I stared at that message for a long time. She always knew I would pull through. She had left an envelope saying she could not go backward. She had told people I was a liar. And now she always knew. I texted back, "You left when you thought I would not." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, she responded, "That is not fair. I was scared. I made a mistake. Can we please just meet and talk about this like adults?" I did not respond right away. When I got back from a walk, there were 4 more messages. She said she had been going through something difficult. She said she deserved a chance to explain in person. Part of me wanted to say no, but there was another part that wanted her to sit across from me and see exactly what she had given up. I texted her back the next morning. "Fine. Same say F where we had that conversation about you deserving stability. Saturday at 2, she responded immediately. "Thank you. I promise you will understand once we talk. Saturday came. I got there early and ordered black coffee. The CA half was where 6 months ago, Vanessa had told me she needed to know I could provide for her future. It was right after one of her friends got engaged to a tech executive. Vanessa walked in at exactly 2, wearing designer white. She looked good. That was the frustrating part. She looked exactly like the woman I had fallen for, but I knew better now. She sat down. There was a moment of silence. Then she started. Noah, I panicked. I did not mean to hurt you. I was scared. And I made a terrible decision, and I have regretted it every day. I looked at her. Scared of what? Poverty or embarrassment? Her face changed. That is cruel. I said it was just a question. She said, I did not understand what it was like to watch everyone around you succeed while you stayed in place. I told her I understood perfectly. I had spent 5 years building something while people questioned if it would ever work. The difference was, I did not abandon the people who believed in me when things looked bad. Vanessa tried a different approach. She said she loved me, that she had always loved me, but she had been raised to value security and did not know how to turn that off. She said her parents had struggled financially, and it left her with deep anxiety about money. She said she was working on it with a therapist. I let her finish. Then I slid a folder across the table. Inside was a copy of the acquisition contract summary showing the sale price and my new position. I said, this is what you left behind. Not the money. The man. Vanessa stared at the paper. Her face went through confusion, realization, shock, anger, and then genuine grief. She said I had lied to her. I told her I had let her believe what she wanted to believe, and she showed me exactly who she was. She started crying. Real tears. She said this was not fair, that I had manipulated her. I told her nobody set her up. I just stopped correcting her assumptions and she made her choice. She asked if I had planned this. I told her the truth. I had not planned anything. I just wanted to know if she would stay when things were hard. She did not. I stood up to leave. Vanessa grabbed my hand. She said we could start over, that she would prove she was different. I pulled my hand back gently and told her I believed she was sorry. I believed she regretted leaving, but I also believed she would do the same thing again the next time things got difficult. Because her love was conditional and mine could not be anymore. As I walked out, Riley was outside shooting photos for the Portland Green Expo. When she saw me leaving, she waved. I did not realize until later she had taken a photo through the CAF window showing Vanessa sitting alone at the table, staring at the contract folder. Riley posted it that night with a caption, "Some people only love the light after it stops shining on them." The post got shared thousands of times. People were speculating about the context. The comments resonated, though nobody knew it was about Vanessa and me specifically. I thought that would be the end of it. But 3 days later, a colleague sent me a link to a LinkedIn post. It was from one of Vanessa's former clients, a nonprofit that worked on environmental education. They had hired Vanessa's firm to renovate their office using sustainable materials. According to the post, they recently discovered that her firm had been billing them for high-end eco-friendly materials, but using cheaper conventional alternatives. The difference had been pocketed as profit. Worse, the firm had been using the nonprofit's name in marketing materials, claiming they had donated services when they had actually charged full price and then some. The post went viral in Portland's nonprofit community. Within a day, 3 more clients came forward with similar stories. There was an investigation. The story hit local news. Designer diva caught in greenwashing scandal. The irony was almost too perfect. She had left me because she thought I was failing at building something meaningful. Meanwhile, she had been actively destroying the very values she claimed to care about. All for profit. I did not feel victorious. I just felt tired. Logan said it was karma. Maybe, or maybe Vanessa had always been willing to cut corners when nobody was watching. Riley and I had been spending more time together. Nothing romantic at first. Just conversations about work and life and what it means to build something that lasts. She understood what I was going through. She had spent years documenting environmental work and had seen plenty of people who talked about sustainability while exploiting it for personal gain. Havenworks was thriving. We were working with veteran housing programs and environmental grant organizations. Riley officially joined as photographer and outreach coordinator. Logan joked that I had finally found someone who did not mind my broke phase. I told him she had liked me when the lights were off. But there was one more thing coming that I did not see at all. Final update first. An update on basics. Havenworks has expanded significantly. We are now operating in 3 states with talks to start projects in Colorado and Nevada. The European partnership has opened doors I never imagined. We are building affordable eco-housing for veterans, working with indigenous communities on sustainable building practices, and developing educational programs for young people interested in green construction. The work feels meaningful in a way it never did before. Riley and I started dating about 6 weeks ago. It happened gradually. We were spending so much time together that the line between professional and personal dissolved naturally. She makes me laugh. She challenges my ideas. She shows up when things are difficult instead of disappearing. Last week, we drove to the coast to scout locations for a documentary she is working on. We spent 3 days camping in the rain, and it was one of the best weeks of my life. Vanessa's situation deteriorated. The investigation led to a lawsuit from multiple clients. Her business partner tried to pin everything on her. Emails came out showing Vanessa had been pushing the cost-cutting measures while maintaining the eco-friendly branding. Her Instagram following dropped by 60%. The lifestyle influencer crowd went quiet. She moved to Seattle about a month ago. I hope she figures things out. Not because I want her back, but because carrying around that much calculation and fear seems exhausting. But here is the thing I did not expect. 2 weeks ago, I got a handwritten letter from Charles Clark, Vanessa's father. I had met Charles a few times. He was a quiet man who had built a successful accounting practice from nothing. The letter started with an apology. Charles said when Vanessa first told her parents we had broken up, she had said I stole from investors and destroyed my own company through mismanagement. She told them I had been lying to her about money and that she discovered the truth and left. Charles and his wife believed her. They even supported her decision to speak to friends about it. Then, about a month ago, Charles ran into Logan at a business networking event. They had met once before at a dinner Vanessa and I hosted. Logan, not knowing Charles had heard Vanessa's version of events, mentioned the acquisition and congratulated him on me landing such a significant deal. Charles was confused. Logan explained the timeline. Charles started putting things together. When Charles got home, he confronted Vanessa. The truth came out. She admitted she had lied about why we broke up because she was embarrassed to tell them she had left me for financial reasons right before a major business success. She admitted the rumors were exaggerations meant to protect her image. And when Charles started asking about her business practices, she broke down and told him about the cost-cutting scheme. Charles said he had spent the past month wrestling with what kind of parent he had been. He wondered if pushing Vanessa to be financially successful had created someone who valued money over integrity. He said he was not writing to defend her or to ask me to forgive her. He was writing because I had shown grace in a situation where most people would have retaliated. He said I could have destroyed Vanessa's reputation completely when her scheme came out, but I had stayed silent. He said that kind of restraint was rare. The letter ended with something unexpected. Charles wrote that he had looked into Havenworks after learning the truth. He said what we were building was exactly the kind of work that mattered. He had made a personal donation to our veteran housing program and was encouraging his firm's clients to consider us for their sustainable building needs. I showed the letter to Riley. She read it twice, then looked at me and said sometimes the people who hurt us give us the greatest gifts without meaning to. If Vanessa had not left, I would still be trying to build something meaningful while managing someone else's anxiety about status. Instead, I got to build something meaningful with people who actually cared about the work. Logan's response was more direct. He said balance sheets always find a way to even out. People who measure worth in dollars eventually get measured the same way. And that measurement rarely ends well. Last weekend, a local journalist did a feature on Havenworks for Portland Monthly. The headline was "The Man Who Built Peace Instead of Proving a Point." They interviewed me, Logan, and Riley. They talked about our expansion, our partnerships, our vision for accessible, sustainable housing. Near the end, the journalist asked about challenges I had faced. I kept it vague. I said there had been moments when people doubted whether what we were doing had value, and those moments taught me that the only validation that matters is your own. The article came out yesterday. I have gotten messages from old friends and colleagues. Everyone is congratulating me. But the message that meant the most came from Derek. He sent a short email, saw the article. Proud of you for building something real. Glad you got out before she took more than time. I think that is the best way to summarize this. Vanessa did not take more than time. She could have taken my confidence, my reputation, my business. She tried, but the test I gave her ended up protecting me from someone who would have done much worse damage if I had not seen her clearly. Riley and I are talking about the future now. Real future. She wants to expand her documentary work and use Havenworks projects as case studies. I want to keep building, keep proving you can make money doing the right thing. We are planning a trip to Patagonia in the spring to document indigenous building techniques. It feels right in a way nothing with Vanessa ever did. Someone in my original post asked if I regretted testing Vanessa. The honest answer is no. I regret that she failed the test. I regret that I dated someone for 2 years without seeing who they really were. But I do not regret finding out before I married her. Before we bought property together. Before we built a life that would have been much harder to untangle. She wanted someone on her level. I did not realize until recently that she meant someone who measured level the same way she did. Net worth, social status, material success. Those are valid metrics, I guess. But they are not mine. My level is measured in whether I can sleep at night knowing I built something honest. In whether the people I work with trust me. In whether I am with someone who stays when things get hard. By that measurement, I am doing fine. Better than fine. I am exactly where I am supposed to be.